Welcome to the NEPA Scene Podcast. We're coming to you live from Cole Creative in downtown Wilkes-Barre. I'm Rich Howells. I'm the founder and editor of NEPA Scene.
And I'm John Popko from Alt 92.1 and the host of Alt Natives on Alt 92.1 on Saturday nights at 9 o'clock.
And we're here with Gene and Miranda Philbin, the owners of Peculiar Slurp Shop and Peculiar Culinary Company. We're celebrating the one-year anniversary of Peculiar Slurp in downtown Scranton on Monday, May 20th through Saturday, May 25th with food specials and entertainment. So we're talking about how they take food to the next level. Their long journey from pop-up dinners and food trucks to a brick-and-mortar restaurant, national TV appearances on Food Network and CNBC, the restaurant industry and running a small business in Scranton, cooking tips, and much, much more. So please stay tuned for the full hour. We would love to hear from you. Your questions and comments are important to us. Is that what they say in the
Absolutely.
industry?
Yes, indeed.
So please leave those questions down below. We would love to hear from you. Anything you guys want to talk about, anything you might want to ask them about running a business in Scranton, anything about food, all that good stuff. We're here for the full hour. So please stay tuned and listen to our conversation. But before we dive into the food, we got to talk about the beer and crack open some beer. So Beer Boys in Wilkes-Barre provides us with these crawlers every week from the 72 beers on tap that they have. Now, they just had a tap takeover with SBC, who brews out of Pittston, so they gave us all SBC this week, I believe.
Yeah, SBC Sunny Spot, the SBC Blueberry Thrill, and the SBC NEIPA number 2.
So what do you guys
Number
want
2.
to crack into first?
Well,
Sunny Spot?
we should probably start light and then go up. So I think Sunny Spot would be a good start, and then we'll probably finish with the New England style IPA.
Oh.
I
Part 2.
feel like you know your beer.
Yeah.
I like beer. Yes, indeed.
You dabble a little bit, right?
A skosh.
Yeah.
A skosh. Yes,
You
indeed.
might have some an array of beverages at your restaurant.
I just wanted to hear that. Beautiful song. We do. We do carry some SBC. We also carry. We try to carry quite a bit of local, as well as expanding. Maybe not too far, but our furthest actually right now is Poland. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, we do adventure out. We try to, we do a craft can beer mostly, and we just try to make it different and special. And it changes probably every 2 or 3 days, which is a lot of fun. We keep a few staples kind of floating around. For example, this time of year, like Bell's Oberon, which is one of my favorite beers in the world. I know it's not local, but I just love it. It's not, always available. So, that's kind of been floating around for a little while. But other than that, we try to mix it up as often as we can.
Well,
So
cheers to that. Then.
Salute, guys. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I feel like
for
this has
coming
been a
on.
long time
Yeah,
coming.
I feel like we've been trying this for at least
We've been old friends that have caused a lot of shenanigans together.
Yep.
And now we finally get here to talk. Last time I saw you was the Ashfall show.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Holy mackerel.
That was great, wasn't it?
What a show that
That
was.
fun.
I missed that one.
I was bummed to see you not there.
Yeah.
But I knew you were there in spirit because it was I just love that these older bands from Northeast PA are doing these shows together. It gets I just love it.
You were front and center for the Lifer show.
Lifer and Ashfall are my two. That's my two bands, man.
Okay.
I not just locally, but in life, I love them, and I'm always excited to see them play. I love that Lifer's doing all that together again, and they're close, and it's just been a lot of fun seeing some older bands play, and I just keep thinking about other ones that I'd love to see come back, and I'm going through my old CDs. You guys remember those? Compact discs? We used to buy them, at a time at Jordan O'Donnell's Gallery of Sound.
I still do.
We
always
still
said,
buy
I know
them.
you guys are hardcore to that.
He even even more so. I think he's there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I go there for my vinyl collection now, but I was leafing through some old CDs recently and just looking at these old, An American Liar. You remember them? And, one of my favorites, Spit Can, who was known as a different band at one time, but all I keep thinking about, boy, I wish these guys would do one more show together. Maybe they'll do one more show together, but I still have them on CD, so that's pretty nice to go back and visit those NEPA bands, because we've been supporting local music since the day we turned 21, and it's been a fun journey. I mean, I remember seeing you guys out at the shows way back when.
Oh yeah.
You worked at another place. I remember,
Yeah.
we met through different people, and it was just so much fun. And the music scene's still around, I think, right? You would agree with that.
I would say so, yeah.
There's definitely some locations that are really pushing like hard too to keep the whole thing going. So it's been a lot of fun. We dabble in it a little bit every Monday night. We try to have local musicians play. Not to like shameless plug, but it's just it's just because Miranda and I love local music. You think why a Monday night? Because Monday night's a hard night to find local music. Mm-hmm. Especially if you work in the restaurant industry, a lot of restaurants are closed Monday nights. So why not be the place that you could go, have a fun meal, quiet atmosphere, and hear some acoustic music, So.
And then you don't have to leave the place.
Well, that's the other nice thing. We don't have to go out because we're already working. So
they can come to you now.
Yes, indeed.
Well, speaking of shameless plugs, let's get all our shameless plugs out of the way. So, Beer Boys has a half-price happy hour every night of the week, 8 till midnight on Fridays and Saturdays, 9 to 11 every other night of the week. So be sure to stop down for the free glass nights on Wednesdays, and tell them that we sent you. There's also live entertainment on the weekends at 10 p.m., and there's never a cover. And speaking of live entertainment, the V-Spot is our other sponsor, one of the most popular bars in northeastern Pennsylvania, with live entertainment every night of the week. This week they have barrel-chested beer bellies and their ridiculous strap-on beards. Will keep everybody dancing on Friday. Mason Dixon will play classic rock on Saturday. DJ Huff is hosting karaoke on Sunday. And our NEPA Scene Rising Talent Open Mic is back for only 5 more weeks on Tuesday nights. It went by real fast this season. It's been very crazy. We've had a lot of great acts, new and returning. Lots and lots of variety. We had a marriage proposal on stage a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah. It's been absolutely nuts. And anybody who knows the V-Spot knows that they're pretty packed when it comes to their entertainment schedule, so it's hard to get in there. We had a guy come on Tuesday who was so good, he got invited right there, and they booked him a gig at the V-Spot. And he usually plays in Wilkes-Barre. So he got a Scranton gig out of it, so it's
wonderful.
Full of opportunities. That's what it's all about. It's not just the prize money and stuff, although that stuff's cool too. But the opportunities and the people you're going to meet are so important. So we're only going to be there for 5 more weeks. Make sure that you come and check it out if you can. On Tuesday nights, sign-ups are 6:30 to 8, and then we go from there, though everybody usually shows up at like 9. So.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Everybody's on musician time.
It's true.
So
yes, indeed.
It's a couple hours after you
Yes,
hope and
indeed.
expect that they'll show up. But they show up, and they show up in droves. It's been
Good.
a really good season. So let's talk about, since we're starting about back in the day. Let's start with what you guys were doing before Peculiar Culinary Company. Now that started in 2012.
2012.
So what were you guys doing before that?
I don't know. What were we doing?
I worked in human resources for a local energy company,
Yeah.
and he worked as a corporate chef for a while.
I was a corporate chef. I did food sales for a while. We chefed around in New Jersey and North Jersey, and just kind of ran the circle of Northeast PA, I guess you could say. And then one of my last restaurant jobs, we had a Ron's in Duryea, which the chef is now at Viva Farms, and I had a great. He gave me a carte blanche there to really be creative and do my thing, and that's where a lot of this started. When I decided to leave there and go corporate, the whole reason I did that was so I could do the pop-up dinners, which was the first for Northeast PA.
Yeah, definitely not something that you saw all the time, and you guys kind of found your niche there and really started to make a name for yourselves at that point through the pop-up dinners.
Yeah, we did our first one in August of 2012. I guess it's safe to say now, but it was totally under the radar and totally, it was whatever it
we were
was.
experimenting.
Whatever it was is what it was. We paid our taxes, that I promise you. But other than that, it was, this kind of this free form thing. We did a 6-course dinner at a park in a building that had no air conditioning or no hood system or no kitchen or no fans or no anything, and we brought in grills and portable equipment and made the best of it, and brought in portable fans that we bought at Walmart the day before, and the lights were all broken, so we hung Christmas lights and we turned it into a restaurant.
We had a lot of candles.
We had a lot of candles, yeah, and it was
Pretty
about
dark.
100 degrees in there. We had live music. There was just enough power that John Smith was able to play. John Smith from Underground Saints or Bent Blue,
Yep.
Mullen. It was just enough for him to plug in one speaker, and that was about it. And then the rest of the equipment would not work, including our coffee maker. And that's how the whole thing started.
So did you guys always want to be in this industry doing what you're doing now? Was that always kind of the goal at the end of the tunnel?
For me, yes. For you?
For me, I think I kind of ended up here, but it wasn't the goal. But we always wanted to do something together.
I mean,
so
you went to beauty school at one time.
I did, and then I went back to school, and I got my business degree in marketing, and I did the HR thing for a while, and that was fine. And I did that while we were doing this part-time for a couple years. And I don't know, I just started to have a lot of fun with it, too. So we started getting into catering more, and that was really what built up the business and continued with our growth. And that's when we decided to do the food truck as well.
We
So-
first started dating in 1999. And when in 1999, I was working at a restaurant called the Hacienda, which is no longer in existence. It was on
Yes.
Bernie Avenue in Scranton.
Music.
That's what I said, music. And I worked so much that we never saw each other. She worked during the day, I worked nights. I worked 6 nights a week. She worked 5 days a week. And it was basically the point where it was like, well, you could come and wait tables a couple nights a week and we could spend time together, or we'll never see each other. And she came, and that was the first time, and we've never not worked together in another restaurant atmosphere ever since then. Other than maybe the corporate thing. But even when I was at Iran, she came, helped out. Sunday nights she would work. When we went to Jersey, I was a chef at a country club. She came, worked there part-time. It was just, we always found a way to work together because it was the only way we could see each other, because our schedules were very much opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess somewhere along the lines, you either fell in love with me or the business. I hope both, but you never know.
I say both. But mostly you.
Oh, good. Close call.
Good answer.
Good answer, good answer. So, I mean, that's like the long time ago start of the whole thing, but
Right.
so the pop-up thing, lasted quite a while. It was a lot of fun. We kept getting more legit and going to more exciting places and taking over other restaurants and breweries and other parks and different things. And then one day somebody asked us to cater their wedding. And then all hell broke loose.
Well, that's not an easy business.
It's not, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work though, and it's a pretty awesome journey. You go from doing a couple weddings and a couple bar mitzvahs, and next
We never
thing,
did a bar mitzvah.
I always wanted to though.
Maybe like wedding showers. And
With
stuff.
lots of showers, lots of birthdays, first
Yeah.
communions, sweet 16s.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, you're doing 35, 45 weddings a year.
Baby showers.
And yeah, lots of baby showers.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of baby showers. And
We ended up in Houston during that time.
that
and
was the point
we
where,
would use
yeah,
that
we took
hall
over
for
a catering
events
hall
and
in Houston.
That kitchen we used for our food truck and
Yeah.
for pop-ups and whatever, catering.
Well, it was the catering, the wedding catering built up to the next step, which was the food truck. So we did wedding catering for about 2 years. And while that sounds like a short time, it felt like it was forever because it was just, we're constantly growing. We're in a small kitchen in Avoca that was connected to a church. And the next thing we're like, we need something bigger. So we decided to reach out to our friends at the Houston Fire Department. And we rented the space many times for catering events. And we just had a good rapport with those cats. And we said, what do you think if we just took the place over? And then we'll share the room. You guys have your meetings, your blah, blah, blah. We do the kitchen. We'll figure everything out. Let's just see what the hell happens. We'll figure it out. And it worked out really, really well. But the wedding business grew and the catering business grew. And that was, at that point, we're like, all right, let's try something different. We need to have some more fun. And that's when we decided to look into getting a food truck.
And during that time when we were so busy with weddings, that's when we left our jobs too, our full-time
Yeah.
jobs, that safety net, and then, you
man.
know, just kind of
So I guess
dove
that was
right in.
2014 or so.
Well, I was still at my job then.
Yeah.
but-
I was the executive chef for a corporate company at Wilkes University. That was a great job, but, you know, it's time to... We're doing weddings every weekend. I'm working there 55 hours a week. I'm doing our thing, well, at this point, probably 25 hours a week. It was enough, you know, that I was like, oh, I think we can stretch our thing to the 55 and get rid of the other 25, and that's what we did. So then we went and we went to Manassas, Virginia, and we asked a company to help us build our dream food truck. And that was the next step.
A lot of people, I think, remember the big green truck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not an easy gig either. Going to place to place. So how was that? Finding places that you could go, and I'm sure you probably have to get permits and all that kind of stuff, and talk to
Every
new
town,
places.
Most importantly,
every
you have to
city.
work with the towns, and then
Yeah.
obviously wherever you're going to park, and it has to, you know, have some kind of agreement in place with them.
Every
If it's a
every
festival,
city's
then there's
different,
separate permits, and it's a lot.
You know, you
So-
go to certain cities, you have to be X amount of feet from the restaurants. Go to a certain city like here, you have to be X amount of feet from the square, plus X amount of feet from the restaurants.
I think it's like 3 blocks from the
It's
square.
quite a bit, yeah. There's the cities were tough, a lot of red tape, but you work through it because it's worth it.
And then you find your regular places that you go,
Yeah.
and you know, all that work pays off. But then, in addition to all of the everyday strains, then you also have to worry about it being on wheels and all the other problems that come into play with that.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
You'd be driving down 380 heading to a Weyerbacher brewery, and you know an important screw would come loose in your flat top grill, and that screw would prevent gas from flowing into your flat top grill. That's a serious problem, and that was a real issue.
Jeez.
So everybody thinks like, oh, food trucks are great. They're inexpensive. It's fun. It was fun. It was a blast. But when you take that turn the wrong way and your refrigerator doors open up
and you lose a whole bunch
and all
of
your
food.
food goes flying out the door, which has happened, and then you have to go back to your kitchen and try to reset, and you realize I don't have any more food to reset, and the food that I had just ended up in the reservoir of my food truck, your day's done. And you just lost out on a lot of sales. This doesn't happen every day. This isn't like, trust me, we had a great time. But these are some of the things that happen. So it was a pretty interesting journey. It was a fun journey. It really, really was. But it was a tough one too, which I think made us stronger for the growth that we wanted to do. We had our certain spots that were really set that we really enjoyed doing. Like every Tuesday we go to Sabatini's Bottle Shop. That was an easy trip from Houston to West Pittston or Exeter.
Yeah.
But that was so much fun, spending time there and building up that business. But we also spent a lot of time in Lehigh Valley. Lehigh Valley was very receptive to food trucks. And it was a different vibe down there. They have a lot of breweries, and we spent a lot of time down there, and then we came back here, and we just had so much fun with it. But there was a point where we built up this reputation. The point was to build up the pop-ups and then open a restaurant. But that turned into building up the pop-ups, turned into a wedding catering. The wedding catering built up to the food truck, and the food truck eventually built up to the restaurant. So it was a little bit of a longer journey, but it was totally worth it. Because we learned a lot more. We learned what to do, what not to do. We had a blast doing it, too. Like I said, the food truck festivals in Allentown at the Iron Pig Stadium, stuff
Oh,
like
right.
that. I mean, we had so much fun.
We work with SBC a lot.
We
too.
made, oh yeah, so, speaking of SBC,
Yeah.
I mean, we spent a lot of time at SBC, a lot of time locally, you know, just different places, and yeah, we had a blast doing it. It was a lot of fun. But there was a point where we're like, you know, I think it's time for the next step, and then that's when, you know, the kind of Scranton thing sort of happened.
So what made you, obviously you guys have done all different kinds of food, and you became known for all different kinds of food. So what made you say, let's do a ramen place instead of 1,000 other things that you could have chosen?
It started probably 3 years ago or so. I did a pop-up at the fire hall that we were at that revolved around the Momofuku cookbook. Now, if you don't know Momofuku, it's David Chang's ramen restaurant. David Chang is now definitely an entrepreneur. He owns many restaurants and has become sort of a worldwide name. But back when I, you know, got to know him, he had a ramen shop in Manhattan, and we fell in love with it. We went there to eat. We fell in love with it. I bought the cookbook, and then I said, let's cook a bunch of things from the book and do it as a pop-up, kind of call it like the Momofuku pop-up, and see what happens.
And that went over extremely well and sold out so fast we had to add another night.
We
And
did do
then-
2 nights, yeah.
Then we just kept doing those once in a while,
We would do them not too often, but often enough.
like a special
Yeah,
occasion.
and make it
kinda
like a
thing.
special occasion. And then we kept working on the recipes. At that point, we veered away from the Momofuku cookbook and then just honestly just kept working on the recipes and making the food our own. It was fun to follow their recipes and be like, hey, this is like Chang's food here. This is our start. This is how we're learning. Now let's keep growing. So we did more books and went to classes, and, you know, we've been to New York to learn ramen noodle making and all this stuff. And we just kept constantly learning, and then also branching out, just not just from ramen, but like Korean food and different cuisine. And we just honestly just fell in love with it. The food truck was comfort food. Always was, always has been. You know, you have your pork belly mac and cheese, your chicken and waffles sandwiches, your, you know,
All the tacos.
all the tacos. Yeah,
Mini
yeah. We got
tacos.
really, yeah, we were huge with tacos, which I miss making tacos, if I'm being honest with you. But we really fell hard for this cuisine, and that was really the catalyst for it. When
Plus,
some
there wasn't anything like it in the area.
That's the other thing
Right.
too. People have, you know, we like to think that, like, you know, we brought some new stuff to the area, but at the same time, people are very familiar with a lot of the cuisine that we've done. But the one thing that was really, really new, I thought, was the ramen culture, the noodle culture, the slurp culture, the bowls, the poke, the ramen, you know. So that was really what drove us was, listen, if we're going to do this, we have to do something really different. And we have to really push it and risk it all. Put it all on the line, because we could open a taco shop and do really, really well, but there's a lot of really beautiful tacos around here. But we wanted to do something that was really not done, and that was what we decided. When somebody came to us and said, we have a spot that we think you should open a restaurant, we said, there's one thing we got to do. It's got to be ramen.
So is that what made you decide on downtown Scranton? Because
That was my question.
you talk to a lot of Scranton businesses. I know you talk to a lot of businesses down there, and all you hear is like, oh, Scranton's hard to work with, and the high taxes and stuff like that, and why not Dixon City or somewhere else? Because a lot of people go there because of the high taxes in Scranton. So, was there something about this place in particular?
Well, we really liked the feel of, the developer we worked with and our architect that we worked with. The block itself was booming, and there was a lot of cool things happening. And we just loved the vibe of the whole thing. So we knew the other owners of the businesses on the street, and we just thought it made a lot of sense for us. We worked in Scranton a bit too, because we'd go to Dimitri and Karen that owned 16th Ward across the street. They owned Jack's Draft House when we had the food truck. and we would park it there all the time. So we started building up a following in Scranton as well. Sometimes we park for lunch down on Courthouse Square, you know, different things like that. We did a lot of stuff at the Keys over the last couple years. So, I don't know, just...
There was something
It
about the
seemed to
people
make
on
sense.
Penn Avenue
Yeah.
that we had a really good rapport with. So, Dimitri and Karen owned Jack's Draft House. They owned Jack's Draft House in the Hills. They let that go, someone else took it over, and then they opened the 16th Ward, which opened shortly after we did. The Keys, which is 2 buildings down from us, when we were in between our period of, thank you by the way, when we were in between the period of having a kitchen and having a food truck, the food truck was up for sale, we had nowhere to cook, she'd let us come to her bar every Sunday, or I'm sorry, every Friday. Sunday. Every Friday, and we would do our stuff. We would do ramen.
I remember that.
Every Friday.
And that's she has a very tiny little closet of a kitchen. I don't know how she does what she does in there.
She's amazing.
When you guys...
Because she does full-blown menus. Yeah, it's crazy. She'll be like, oh, it's burger night, and here's 7 different burgers. Oh, by the way, I have all of them vegan as well. Wait, what? They're all stuffed with cheese. Oh, yeah. She's incredible. Jen's off the charts, man. She's a bull, and she works very hard. And she let us be a part of what she was doing, which was awesome. So we went in there. I think that was the first time your wife ever had my buns.
I think so.
Your buns.
She did say I have the best buns in town.
She did.
Bao buns.
Getting back, come back from work.
Bao buns. But Jen really was a huge catalyst in helping us on that street. Dimitri and Karen were exactly the same. Pat Quinn, who's the owner of AV, welcomed us into his restaurant. He let us do stuff there. We cooked there with him, and that was why. Like, that was really you could say, why didn't you go to Dixon City? Why didn't you go to Moose? All these other places that may be less expensive or less taxes, but then when you come down to it, Penn Avenue is just a huge family, and it's totally worth whatever it is that we have to deal with. Now, truth be told, Scranton's been pretty awesome to deal with. They treat us well. We do good, and they do good, and we behave ourselves, right? But
no problem.
I know there's I'm sure there's a lot of other tales to be told of different businesses, but we don't get involved in that. The only thing that we care about, the only thing that we really, really care about is making food for people that want to eat our food. We care about cooking good food and putting our heart into it. And while it might not be perfect every time, we put our heart and soul into it. And that's really all that it matters to us, is serving great beer and local wine and some beautiful spirits and spending 14 hours making broth and using bones from overlooked farms and using our lettuce from Roland's Farms, and just trying to create really nice stuff for really nice people. That's all we care about. So I'm sure there's other things in Scranton that are a problem. I know they come up from time to time, but we don't get involved in that because all we care about is making food for people that like food, and that's it.
I don't think people understand. You mentioned a bunch of things just now, but everything you put into your food. It's not. Everyone can say like it's a bowl and it's soup. It's a bunch of noodles.
Yeah.
But you spend 14 hours making the broth, and then like it's pork belly, and just elaborate a little bit more on that. Like, it's not just a bowl of noodles.
There's a lot of attention to detail that we put into it. It's a labor of love. My guys work a lot of hours, and our girls work a lot of hours. We have a great staff that really. Today, truth be told, today is our 1-year anniversary. Like right on the nose.
Wow.
From the first day we opened our door.
That worked out perfectly.
And a enormous chunk of our staff is from day one. I think that they feel that the passion that we put into the business, they exude into what they're doing. So, whether it be supporting local or just, we are quality over quantity from day one. We're a tiny little restaurant too. We only have 41 seats, It's never been the kind of place that we could do 500 covers in a night, but that's not what we want. We want to just do whatever comes in and treat them like family, and I hope that they love what we do. My guys put a lot of love into into what's going on, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. And the girls and the guys that work out front, I mean,
Yeah. Everybody works really hard, and
they love like talking about the beer
yeah, passionate
and talking about the
everything.
food, talking about where the stuff, knowing the brewers, where the food, the beer and the food came from. You know, that stuff goes a long way with our staff as well as our customers sometimes.
And our staff will pick their favorite dishes, so you know when
Mhm.
you're getting a lot of a certain thing coming, and Margie must be working today. or-
Yeah. You always know.
pushing
You
the
always know
salmon
who's
poke,
working.
yeah.
Yeah. There's that's the fun part though. The staff gets really excited about a dish, and when they say, "Whoa, what should I have?" It's my first time here. And normally, you might say, "Oh, you should try our signature dish." No, they're like, "No, you should try the weird dish that I love." And that's what I love about our staff. The easy answer would be try the pork belly. It's the staple. It's classic. It's from Japan. We don't mess with the recipe. It's like old school. Shoyu, which is soy sauce style ramen. But when somebody comes in and says, "What should I try?" That's the first dish we ever made, was that pork belly. We still make the same exact thing. The recipe's evolved a little bit, but not really. But when somebody comes in and says, "I've never been here, what should I have?" and Steve goes, "You should have the jjajangmyeon," which is a Korean black bean fermented noodle dish with fire grilled artichoke hearts and a pork belly and blah blah blah. That's when you know somebody's passionate about what it is that we're trying to make. So it gets pretty exciting when people really, when our staff isn't like, "Oh, try the staple." Nah, they're like, "Fuck the staple. The staple's good. Try the staple the third time you're here. Try the weird shit now. Dive in head first." And that's pretty awesome. Because they care about quality over quantity too, and they care about let's blow their socks off. You know what I mean? Let's try something different. Yeah, pork belly ramen. Yeah, I know it's good. It's all right. It's fine. Try something fucking cool. No, I'm not saying. That's not what I'm saying. Or maybe it's what I'm saying. But it's cool. They have. I think our staff gets passionate about what it is that we're trying to do. Is this the blueberry?
This is a blueberry. Blueberry
I'm
thrill.
not there yet.
So blueberry beers are really in this year. They were hot last year, but I think this year, I was talking to a couple beer reps this year, and they're like really, really in. And I'm not always sure about blueberry beers, but this is killer.
See, I love blueberry, and I
Yeah.
think this is the most blueberry beer that you can have, because there's a lot of blueberry beers out there. And I always have them, and I'm like, this tastes like kind of that generic berry taste.
More chemical, almost like
but
fake.
it doesn't actually taste like blueberry. This
No.
actually does.
This is like serious blueberry, but not super sweet, with a little bit of sour though, which is nice.
Right.
Although they don't really say, it's almost like cross between like a blueberry wheat and a goza. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but it's delicious. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm partial because we love those cats, but this is
Right. actually
really, really good. I was talking to a restaurant owner recently. He said, "Blueberries are for muffins, not beer." I'm like, I don't know if that's true, but it's funny the way he said it. But this is really, really tasty.
That's
I don't
pretty
know.
much the reaction we get to a lot of the beer. Either we crack it open and people are like, "Oh wow, these are great. This is weird and different and cool," or
Color's
people are
nice,
like,
too.
"No, it's got to taste like piss. It's got to taste like the same piss that I grew up with as a kid.
Yes.
It's that I was drinking in the woods." And I'm like, "But why
Listen,
though? Why are we?"
PBR is good, right? We don't have to debate that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
There's a lot of awesome stuff going on
Right.
in the
Why-
brew
why
world,
not try
especially locally, but also everywhere. Did you have any great beers on vacation, Mr. Popko?
No, it was Heineken and Red Stripe.
What about Red Stripe down there? What do they have that they don't have up here?
You were following my Facebook.
You're darn tootin' I was.
Red Stripe lemon
Yeah, with energy.
with energy. Well, so the
You're stalker.
We're friends on
Red-
Facebook.
the
What do
Red
you want from
Stripe-
me?
I'm
First,
just teasing.
first ingredient, energy, and then the Red Stripe lemon had almost twice as much energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Did you get did you get wings when you
Oh,
drank
man,
it? Or?
I was rolling. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the second beer I had on the bus.
Was it tasty?
The bus driver pulled the bus over. I don't know what he was stopping for. I'm sure it wasn't just to be nice and get us beers. side of the
Maybe.
road on the way to the resort.
Oh,
Anybody want waters or beer? And he said, this lemon's red stripe. I'm like, well, I never
or
had
other
that
things.
before. Yeah, so he said $3 each. I bought myself, my friend Josh, and my wife one.
Oh, that sounds like
Gave
the
him a
greatest
20.
vacation ever.
Gave him 20. I'm like, what are the chances of me getting my change back?
None.
Not a chance, right? He leaves, comes back, gives us the beer, no change. I'm like, well, it's expected. It's fine. It's vacation. Fuck it.
Fuck yeah.
Then the girl said the driver will give you your change once we get to the resort. So, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, probably need some ones.
He gave it all, and it was all in Jamaican. And I'm like, I don't know how to read this.
Yeah. What do they call it? What is the name of the money in Jamaica? I hate to sound. I don't know. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
not just me. Oh,
I
good.
have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm ignorant, I guess.
Is it coins or bills?
They're bills. Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave me. I thought they gave me $300 in Jamaican money back, which is like I think equivalent to $2 or $3 our money.
Okay.
I read it wrong. It was actually $1,200. So he gave me roughly $8 back, I think, and then I tipped him. So he took a tip of his own, and then I tipped him again.
Good for him, huh?
Yeah, good for him. I don't care. The
Like you
20
said,
the
you're on the
20
bus, you're on
20 that he
vacation.
was gone, you know,
Is
like,
that beer nice and cold?
it was.
That's
it
kind of
was.
worth it.
Yeah.
It was a little too lemony.
How many people said to you, "Jamaican me crazy"?
None.
Oh, thank
You're the
heavens.
first one.
Oh, thank God. Something we saw on vacation recently was terrible.
Yeah, I got burned pretty well.
You look good.
You look like you're still
You
on
look
vacation.
frosty.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you guys can thank me because
First of all, the shirt, I'm loving it. The shorts, I'm just jealous of your skin tone. currently.
He's
Well,
been wearing shorts since the sun came
yeah, I've
out.
never seen him without shorts.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm
But I
not
like
one
to
for
think
pants.
That I brought the sun back with me.
I
Because
think so.
I heard it was pretty terrible
It was.
the first half of this week. I was on Facebook reading all these memes of rain.
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
Oh,
this sucks so
rain,
bad.
man, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Everybody's grass looks great right now, and all the flowers are coming in. The only thing, unfortunately, the greenhouses are having a hard time because the greenhouses don't benefit from the rain. They only benefit from the sun, even in the wintertime. So I have friends that have, like Roland's Farms has a greenhouse. If it's 12 degrees outside and the sun's out, their greenhouse with absolutely no electricity will run at like 70-something degrees. And they could grow lettuce. But you go a few weeks with no sun, you're kind of screwed. So it's just, all you need is a little bit of sun every now and again. It makes people's mood better.
Yeah.
It makes the lettuce taste better.
Makes
I
sense.
love it though. I love the sunshine. I don't care if it's 4 degrees outside.
You're right.
If the sun's out, life is good.
Makes people want to go out more.
It does.
Maybe go to,
It does.
Go to dinner.
Rain doesn't hurt either when it comes to ramen. If I'm being honest.
That's true.
Yeah, chilly rainy days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're usually pretty good.
We don't really want to admit it, but chilly rainy days we do okay for ourselves. So, but it's been a fun journey, man. It's it's our 1 year anniversary, and the continued support from you guys is always appreciated and loved. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I could go on forever about it. It's been a blast. We work hard, we play hard, we have a good time. But it's nice to finally sit with you guys. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, this has been a while.
It's been a while in the making. We haven't got to sit down together in a while.
Can you talk about the creation? I mean, obviously you didn't just sit down one night and say, hey, let's open this restaurant and get this person to paint some funny thing on the wall. And obviously the please send nudes slogan is really funny. Like, how did that all kind of come about?
Well, we worked with a lot of great people
Yeah.
that helped us along the way. As far as all, our graphic design and all that, they came up with some of the slogans. So, like the Please Send Nudes, they did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Posture Interactive.
It's not that it's
and
never been unheard of, but
Yeah,
it's like
but,
new, it's
like,
new to us. And
they
that,
had fun with it.
And that was a lot of fun,
A
yeah.
lot of the different designs and stuff.
You know.
Working with local artists. Our friend's a chalkboard artist. She did the whole bowl thing with the glossary and all
Yeah,
that.
Steph Boback did our chalkboard art, which is still, it's 1 year old today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well,
now-
more than that. I mean,
And
she was
not
done with
one
it
little
before we opened.
bastard had ran their fingers through that.
Everybody, all the guys that were
Knock
working
on
on
wood,
the
'cause
space
this is
before
wood,
we
right?
opened,
Yeah.
They would all say every day, "I can't believe you're
Every
getting
day.
chalkboard on that
Yeah.
wall. The first person that comes in is
Tomorrow.
gonna touch
Yeah,
it."
Tomorrow.
probably.
it's-
Yeah, it's probably gonna be you.
Well,
you
she
son
said
of a
she'd
bitch.
touch it up, so.
Yeah,
But
So-
nobody has stuck their finger in it.
yeah, she
so.
did. You know, it's been a year old. No one's ever touched it. And then we have a whole nother art piece. Kristen Rinaldi, old staff member from our wedding days. She hand painted that whole mural.
Yeah.
And that mural is kind of like a depiction of our journey.
Right.
You know, you see a bunch of people sitting at a table. That's the pop-up. Then you see the food truck with the ninja kicking out of the back. That's our sous chef Justin kicking out of the back of our
That
food
was you.
truck. No, not me. I am no ninja. And then it sort of evolves into the restaurant, and then the big face is Christopher Walken saying, "I don't takimasu," which is Japanese for, you know, thanks for the food, or thanks for the grub, or, you know, it's sort of translated into many different things, but the whole thing was get as many local friends and family and people that we love that could make this place look really cool and really different. And that's kind of the, you know, the antithesis. How do you say that word?
Antithesis?
Thanks. Of the art. I like to think that our place is pretty kind of funky.
Yeah.
Plus, we have the first Friday too, which that gives us 2 walls that constantly change every month, which is really nice too. So, and then Godzilla.
Yeah.
We do have Godzilla.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, that was like my only request. It was my love. I have a love for monster movies.
Originally, that was going to be a newspaper wall with all Godzilla, like movie things.
I wanted to try to figure out how to make it like fake newspaper articles about Godzilla attacking, and apparently that wasn't really a thing. So
Well, it was just difficult to get good quality.
we had somebody design that Godzilla, which was basically him. Instead of blowing fire, he was blowing ramen noodles, which is pretty awesome.
That is cool.
So that's that was kind of our that's like our centerpiece.
Let's grab a couple questions quick from our audience. So
Do
if
we
you
have
have anything now,
how many people
make
are
sure you
watching?
jump in. We had about like 20 some before. We're at like
Sweet.
15, so we're
Cool.
kind of jumping back and forth. Jim Loomis says, "Do you guys still do catering?"
We do.
Yes.
We're doing smaller events right now, just because we don't have the biggest kitchen in the world, and we don't have a lot of. Last summer was very difficult
Tiny little
for us
refrigerators.
because we already had a ton of weddings booked last summer, and that's why if anybody saw us closing early on a Saturday night, that's why, because we needed the room for our catering.
I guess
food.
we never really got to like explain that one to anybody, right?
You know, we would post up, you know, sorry, we have to close early, but like, you know, people would be upset, and you know, because we have our hours
We'd be up,
posted. This is what it is.
Fiddle Lake Farms doing a wedding for 225, and then we're doing 200 people out of the restaurant just for dinner. Forget about lunch. And I have 6 refrigerators and 2 freezers.
Oh man.
So it was
So we'd be running out of food for the restaurant, so
it
we'd
was
have
tight.
to close early.
We have to close,
Right.
yeah.
And it's just because we didn't have the space, so
But yes,
we
Jim,
decided.
we are definitely doing catering.
Yeah, we're still doing catering. Just
Well,
smaller.
Wendy says best catering, so she recommends it. She said your chicken and waffles
Oh,
is the
thank you.
best.
Aw.
You're the best,
Thank you.
really, is what happened.
Let's see. Corey Kimes says bring skirt steak and wings to my house.
Oh, my God.
That guy.
And
This
pickles,
freaking
too,
guy.
I'm sure.
Pickles, yeah. Corey's the man. He's the best. I just wish he would get some skynes in his broth already. I'm just kidding. Corey, you're the man.
Justin Gorchek also recommends the pork belly. Still the best for the
Oh,
food
cool.
truck days.
Oh, thank you, Justin. That means a lot.
Christina Barrett, go to the Slurp Shop. Food is amazing. We love you too.
Oh, the Barretts.
Joe says PBRs are the dopest. Yeah, I'll still drink a PBR.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Here
Is that Joe Rogers?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew it. He's the dopest. He's my
Yeah.
cook. Piece of shit, yeah. Good looking at you, Joe Rogers. Go to
Do
bed.
you have an HR department?
No.
Might need one now.
Yeah, Joe Rogers is in charge of HR. Tomorrow, you're in charge.
Yeah.
you touched a little bit on this before, but I wanted to ask, since we have you both here, some couples, this would drive each other nuts, being together all day and then going home all day, all night, and then coming back the next day and you don't have your space or whatever. How does that work for you guys? I mean, some people are just...
It does.
We've actually seen it a lot in our business. Husband and wives divorce all the time in the restaurant world. It's not how we are. I don't know
really
what
We just like being together.
We like, yeah.
It sounds corny, but
It does sound
do.
corny. We do fight, but it's stupid and it's short, and it does not last long.
Yeah.
If it's a thing about money, we just try to figure it out. If it's a thing about, I don't even know, the money, I don't know, I don't know. We do fight.
There's always something to
listen,
fight
we're not
about.
we're not perfect by any stretch, so don't but we just get over it really, really quickly because we just, we have a good time. We have more fun together than we don't. So if I just happen to have a day off that she has to go into work, we're like, yeah, that's a bummer. It's just how it is.
We drive in together every day,
We
too.
drive in together, we come home together, we work together, we live together, we shop together, we clean the house together. It's just, I don't know, it just works.
We're a bunch of weirdos.
We are a bunch of fucking weirdos. We've been together since 1999. We were 19 years old when we started dating. We're 39 now. I don't know. I don't want to...
38. 39?
Huh?
What year is it? Oh, crap.
No, it's 1999. You're 39, dude. I'll be 39 in July. And, that's how long we've been together that we have to really try to remember how old we are. I know it sounds corny or cheesy or whatever, but the long and the short of it is we just, we work well together. We do fight, and we will go at each other, and we get over it really, really quickly. We've seen, relationships are tough in the restaurant business, but we've literally been waiting tables and cooking together since the hacienda in 1999. And I've yelled at her since 1999. And I've had bosses say, boy, you really yell at her a lot easier than everybody else. Is it because she's your girlfriend? And I'll be like...
Well, back then I would cry.
And
now
I'll be like,
I'm
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I can yell at her easier. And then after a while, she's like... I'll be like, why is this food not out yet? And she's like, because I'm fucking taking it out, you jerk. And I'll be like, oh, cool, I didn't know. I'm sorry, honey. Oh, you're all right. Yeah, no problem. And I know it sounds stupid. That's how it is. You get over it like that. It's just how we work together. I'm very fortunate because
He's a bit of a handful.
I'm a handful.
sometimes.
I'm a big baby. I cry a lot. I whine a lot. I yell a lot. And she puts me in my place a lot. And it's good. And we have a great dynamic. And that's how it is. We are opposite completely at work, but exactly the same at home. So all of that just works together. We take care of our dogs the same way. I take care of work differently than she does, but it always works together. She knows how to calm me down. I know how to cheer her up, and that's just what we do. And that's it. Our fights are short, and we just try to do it the best that we can. We just try to make nice stuff for nice people. That's it.
Well, you've succeeded so far.
Thanks,
Sure.
man.
Let's talk a little bit about your. You also made a TV appearance together as well.
Yeah.
On CNBC, did a restaurant startup. You were also on Guys Grocery Games.
Yes,
did,
indeed.
did Food Network. My wife watches so much Food Network that I don't know if I can even watch it anymore. It's like one of those things.
Yeah.
It's just like it's so much of that sort of stuff. So tell us a little bit of, I know that we've talked about this in other formats and stuff before, but maybe for this audience who maybe haven't heard those things or read those things, what is it like doing one of these TV appearances? Because TV is definitely very fabricated and edited and put together and stuff
Sure.
like that. So behind the scenes, I'm sure it's very different. It's not like this show where it's live and whatever happens.
Whatever, yeah.
It's very much chopped up and edited.
For
together.
sure, yeah. Like the first thing that we had ever done was Guys Grocery Games, and that was a blast. I mean, that was a lot of fun. So it's Sunday nights on the Food Network. Basically, 3 people go against each other in a cooking competition where you race around a supermarket. It is not a real supermarket, technically speaking, but it is. It's not open to the public, but it is as legit as you could imagine. And it's in Santa Rosa, right by where his family is, and Guy Fieri. And it was a really fun experience, man. I had a blast doing it. But it's funny you said about television and the editing and stuff. We shot that episode for like 17 hours.
See, and they make it seem like I've seen the show.
It's
a billion
44
times.
minutes on television.
Yeah, exactly, and it's very fast paced, and it's like one right after the other. So I'm assuming there's at least breaks between, but still, I'm sure you're shooting for a long time.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. The breaks are stressful. I wish that the entire thing was 44 minutes long, because the breaks are intense. Because you do like this cooking competition, and you're sprinting around, and you're getting all this stuff, and then they're like, "All right, you got to make all this food, and you have to do it like now, and you have to do it in 20 minutes, and blah blah blah." And you're like, "All right," and you just start cooking, and then you get done, and your adrenaline is on 20, and you're just feeling like $1,000,000, whether you screwed up or not. You're just really, really, it's fun, man. It's lighthearted. You know what I mean? It's not like Hell's Kitchen, where they're yelling at you. And there's nothing wrong with Hell's Kitchen. It's an intense show. It's a lot of fun. I have some great friends that were on it, but this is more of a lighthearted family kind of situation. But at the same time, you're done with this cooking challenge that you just busted your ass for, and you're exhausted, and you're like, I have 2 more to go, hopefully.
Right.
And then they go, "Oh, we're going on lunch." And I said to the producer, I'm like, "Fuck, no, we got to keep going, man." And he's like, "Oh no, it's a Hollywood, it's a rule, it's a law."
And that was the one time you called me.
That was the one time.
On that break.
Yeah.
And then I didn't hear from him until
And I'm
about
like,
3 or 4 in the morning.
You got to be kidding me! Like I did not. Yeah. So we started at 6 o'clock in the morning. Next time she talked to me, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, I do not want to take a break. I didn't say that. That's just me in my head. But it was a wild experience. I had a blast doing it, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I've been trying to get out there again. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I had the opportunity, actually, and weather unfortunately stopped me because they were shooting in December of 17, and we got hit with a pretty nasty snowstorm. And I couldn't get to California in time. Even if I drove to Philly, I could drive. Call time was too early. I would have never made it. So I missed my opportunity for the Tournament of Champions.
Oh man!
Which meant
because you won the time that you were on.
I did.
So that's pretty cool.
It was pretty awesome, man.
We had to keep that a secret for a long time.
Yeah,
too.
that was rough, man. Because that was okay. So it was a Christmas show that was showing in the end of November, right after Thanksgiving, and I shot it in March. Right? So I do the show. My dessert wins, and the final test, right? You won the 3 challenges, the culinary challenges, but the final test is, here's a list of 20 ingredients that you can find anywhere in this grocery store. Now I gotta be honest with you, at this point I knew the grocery store pretty well. It's pretty much set up like every grocery store that you've ever been to in Northeast PA, honestly. You have your bakery, your dairy, your produce. You have the open walls is where you really want to shop, and then you have all your dry. But after a while, you kind of figure out your dry stuff because you do go up quite a few aisles. So they hand you a list and say, here's 20 items. You got to find them in, was it 2 minutes?
I think it was 2 minutes.
It's 2 minutes. 20 items in 2 minutes. And if you get them all, it was $1,000 an item.
Yeah, 20,000.
Yeah, and I got all 20 items, and that was pretty cool.
And then you died right after that from running out of breath.
Well, I'm a larger gentleman. Yeah, that's not much for running, but I sprinted my ass off, and Guy followed me the entire time, just like yelling in my ear, like, you got this, man. Like, he was awesome. Like, he was. Anybody talk shit on Guy Fieri, man, I'll defend that guy till the day I die. he learned everything about me. Like, he knew about my mother. Like, he knew about my family. Like, he really did his homework, and he gave a shit about everybody on that show. Whether it was the first guy that went off or whether you won, he treated you like you were a rock star and took very good care of you and fed you well, and he was a good dude. And I will always defend that guy. But
Well, people pick on him for his appearance.
he's a goofy-looking fella. But
you know who he is
We're
right
all
away,
goofy,
which
you
is
know?
marketing 101 right
Yeah.
there. Like you could see that guy coming from a mile. Oh yeah, that's Guy Fieri, and he's never done anything mean to anybody. He's like, here's a nice guy. He's a family man.
You never
No
see him in
scandals.
the news.
Yeah, no
right?
bad stuff.
He
about
has
him.
beautiful children. He has a wonderful wife. I got to meet them all. And here's, a lot of people don't realize this dude won the next Food Network star.
Like the
Yeah.
first one ever,
And
right?
he actually became a Food Network star. Now, they've had 14 seasons of that, and only 2 or 3 people that won actually came out, like, proper.
Yeah, it's like American Idol, like
For sure.
Every so many people you might hear, even a lot of times like the runners up and stuff are the ones that like actually get a career out of it.
Yeah.
For
Most of
sure.
the ones who win, it's like you never hear from them again.
You don't hear them again. And here's a guy that, he does a ton of fundraising. This is going to be a commercial for Guy Fieri, but he was very good to us.
Sponsor us,
and-
Food Network.
Yeah. So, all right. So that was, Guy's Grocery Games was a blast. That was a lot of fun. Then the one time Miranda and I got to do a show together was awesome. We went to Los Angeles, California. And we were on CNBC for a show called Restaurant Startup, which is a lot like Shark Tank,
Yeah. But
but
for
for restaurants. That was a lot of fun. What do you think about that
Well,
calamity?
as
that
you
was?
can tell, he's more of the speaker in front of the camera kind of person than I am.
No, I'm a
so
chatty Cathy. It's
I'm,
the Italianer, man.
I'm a little, I got a little stage fright in front of the camera,
No,
but
but-
well, I guess I did okay, but
I'll say you did okay.
I didn't love being in front of the camera. That's not really my thing, but I mean, it was a good
Well,
experience.
tell them about the show, though, like the process. I mean,
yeah.
it was wild. That was an intense one.
Well,
That was really intense.
he had to let the production assistants know what he was planning on making before we went, so he had to have all his ingredients ready and all that stuff. And what do we have, like a little bit of prep time the day before to get our stuff? Like
We were able to get our mise en place, which is like everything in its place together. But the long and the short of it was, you go on Shark Tank, you pitch your business. This is the exact same thing. Miranda and I went on CNBC, it was Restaurant Startup, and the idea was to pitch a restaurant idea that we had. At the time, we were thinking about opening in downtown Pittston, but we were also open to the cities of Wilkes-Barre and Scranton. Pittston at the time was going through a bit of a revitalization. So we said, at the time, now this was 2015, we were talking about, before our passion for ramen and what we do now came, we really wanted to try to maybe do a gastropub. And this was before a lot of the cool gastropubs that we have now were open. So thankfully that trend has come here because they're amazing. So what we pitched was this gastropub idea of gastropubs as if they came from England, but at the same time, craft burger, craft beer, everything made from scratch, blah, blah, blah. So we had to give these production assistants our list of ingredients and things that we wanted to do. The day before we shot, we got to go in and set up our situation, but the day of shooting, you got to do...
You had like an hour.
You had 1 hour. Yeah, we had 1 hour to make 2 or 3 dishes. And a couple things we had to improvise. I obviously couldn't make fresh bread, stuff like that. But they let me bring in my homemade pickles. They let me bring in my homemade ketchup, my homemade mustard, because all those things take a week to make. So there was some nice liberties that they did. So we kind of came with this gastropub idea, and then you got in front of Joe Bastianic. Now, if you don't know who Joe Bastianic is,
He seemed cool.
you might. What's that?
He seemed like a decent guy. That's not.
You're funny.
All business.
You might know his mom, Lydia, from WVIA. She is about as adorable and as wonderful as the day is long. She's one of my favorite celebrity chefs on television. I love watching her on PBS. But her son, Joe Bastianic,
Restaurateur.
Joe used to be partners with Mario Batali before everything happened. Joe owns 32 or 33 restaurants and 3 eatalis. And
He was a judge. He was one of the judges on
Master Chef. Yeah.
We'll make sure I have the right guy.
And then the other judge was Tim Love, who is a Texas chef who has 5 restaurants, but is really known for his retail. Barbecue sauces, spice blends, pickles, etc. Great guy. So you pitch in front of them, and oh boy, what did we pitch for? About 2.5 hours?
It seemed like a very long time. But even when we first arrived in LA, they had drivers and so on. We get there and they took us right to the studio and they separated us and we didn't even know what was going on. They wanted to get these pre-interviews out of the way. We were traveling all day.
Oh yeah.
We had not settle into the hotel, nothing.
Nothing. We saw our luggage.
And
right?
it was all about the story, to get the
they
story.
Really wanted
for
the
TV.
story was the big thing. Yeah. Where did we meet? Where did we blah blah blah. And that was a big part of it, which was it was fun. But yeah, they separated us I don't know what. But then we pitched to the 2 entrepreneurs, and that was about 2.5 hours. But what you saw on television was about 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
That was intense. I mean, there was the point. We were practicing with the PAs and stuff, where they're like, "You guys got to freaking loosen up, man.
Yeah,
you guys
they
are dying."
poured us a full
They'd be
beer
pouring
each.
us beer,
Drink this before you go
shots
on.
of tequila, the whole thing.
Because I was so nervous, I was screwing up everything.
Yeah,
I
they're like,
said.
"You guys got to calm the hell down," and we're like.
But as
Well-
soon as we were done cooking, we went to go film, and then so our episode was Small Markets, Big Dreams. So
Yeah.
it was us, and then we were up against a brother and sister from New Jersey who we became very friendly with.
We're
after
still
the fact.
friends with them, yeah.
And they ended up winning and doing their pop-up. That was the goal. So you win the
So the
pitch,
goal was-
and
yeah.
then you do the pop-up. So, but we were so relieved we didn't have to go.
Yeah, two restaurants pitch against each other. They decide which one they want the most. Now, okay, so we're pitching Gastropub, which at this point, let's be honest, been done 1,000 million times, in Pittston, which they've never heard of. And then these cats, who, again, are amazing people and an amazing chef, pitched a really, really beautiful Italian restaurant in Hoboken. Where do you think they're going?
Right.
Fucking Pittston? You give me a break? Yeah. So we basically got thrown, and when they said it wasn't us, we're like, oh, thank God.
So we still had the whole day to relax
Oh, good
there
Lord.
and everything.
I'm falling
Like,
apart.
go-
And then they shipped
Yeah.
us off the next day.
Yeah,
But
so,
it was a free trip to California.
well, yeah. So the thing was, if they approved you, then you go on and do a pop-up dinner the next day. So I was talking to the guys, the brother and sister that did the show. They have no staff, right? They can't bring in their own people, but they have to do a pop-up restaurant. So they do. He's cooking in the kitchen with 2 PAs, production assistants, and then the servers are all
aspiring actors.
they all aspiring actors, right? So they were really, really nice too. We met all of them, but they're not servers. Some of them might be, I guess, but they weren't. So
Well, it's LA, so everybody's
so
inspired.
not for nothing, yeah. So I'm talking to Joe is the chef. I'm talking to him a couple days after. He's like, "Dude, you wouldn't fucking believe what happened." I'm like, "What happened?" He goes, "You remember that girl that told you couldn't have the turmeric because I was going to get a spice off the spice thing, and she said that's not on your list. You can't have it." And I'm like, "All right, no problem. I don't know even why I wanted turmeric, but I wanted it." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, she was one of the cooks." I said, "Oh yeah, what happened?" He goes, "Halfway through service," he goes, we're doing this, that, and the other thing. She came over, turned off his oven. She turned off his oven.
Drama.
For the fucking show. And I said, thank God we didn't get asked. That's why we didn't want to get asked. Because it was like guys' grocery games, man, that was different. That's where we come from.
It
It's
seems a little more
lighthearted,
legit.
fun,
Yes.
family.
Yeah.
They're not going to try to, they don't want you to screw up. They want you
Right.
to win.
Yeah.
They legitimately wanted you to win every penny with all their heart. they, and Guy was the same way.
Yeah.
He's
So that was a little more difficult. but-
I'll say. So they turned the oven off. So he had an oven going with, he was doing flat iron pork flat iron steaks, and they turned the oven off on him, and he got backed up and the whole thing. Joe comes in the back, he's yelling and blah blah blah. What are you tapping me for? You worried that Joe?
Stop with this story.
You worried that Joe is gonna?
You never
Find
know. It's
out?
online.
Oh my God! What is he gonna do?
I don't know. Stop. Move on. Move on.
This is why we balance each other out.
Even Joe could find you. He'll come say sorry.
He should. We have a restaurant now.
Yeah, right.
He said we'll never make it. And look what happened to him. She's so worried. CNBC, that show doesn't even exist anymore. I think we're okay. But that's a prime example of how we balance each other out.
Yep.
I'm full of piss and vinegar. She's full of brains. And it works. It works.
I'm a little more serious.
Nah, but you're a lot of fun too. Don't be
Thanks.
silly. Don't play yourself short. Right?
Sure.
So this is probably more for my wife, who probably wants to know this more than I do, because she cooks a lot more than I do. But for your average person who's cooking at home, cooking dinner or whatever, what would you recommend to let's use the Food Network term, elevate a dish? How would you take your average thing that maybe somebody's making, burgers on the grill or something like that, something that you cook for the family, that kind of thing, but make it a little more interesting. Do you have any tips for your average home cooker who wants to maybe do something a little bit more?
Two things: acid and texture, and that'll make everything better. You can make a taco, you can make a burger. If it's just a burger on a bun with ketchup and mustard, where's the texture? You need something. So, my mother taught me this, and she taught me this a long time ago when I was a young guy, when she made her mac and cheese, which by all definitions, her mac and cheese recipe was not that exciting. But for some reason, no matter how long she baked that thing, the onions that she diced in it were always undercooked. And those onions gave me that's where I learned texture. Two things that I think food always needs is acid and texture. How you add your acid could be a little green salad, a little vinegar, a little lime, a little lemon, and then some kind of crunch. It just adds to the everything. You know what I mean? It seems kind of vague, but acid and texture are my two things that I'm obsessed with. Whether it be on a hot dog or on a pasta dish. If you make spaghetti and meatballs, part of that is sort of one note. So why not put an arugula salad with a ton of lemon and extra virgin olive oil right on top of the salad and eat it all together? Acid and texture, my two favorite things. I love them.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go home and tell her acid and texture, and she's going to go, what the hell are you
What are you talking about? This is the two things that I love the most. I think they're the two things that could elevate any sort of dish. As simple as macaroni and cheese, or as complex as beef Wellington. Add acid and texture.
That is not a hint, by the way. My wife is a very good cook, but she's always looking to experiment and try something new. So that's why I asked. Let's throw up a couple more questions and comments. Cody says, "Love this place." Mike Vaca says, "Your duck confit udon is something special. Please bring it back."
Oh, nice. Thanks, man. Jeez, that's OG. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Karen says, "Love your place." Linda says, she wants to know what's the best way to contact you guys.
Well, social media. Well, we don't have Messenger set up on social media, but
Email, phone.
yeah,
Email.
info@peculiarculinary.com will pretty much take care of all that.
If
Okay.
it's for catering or whatever, we have a catering
whatever.
phone line.
Call
It's
the
all
old
on the
restaurant.
website.
Yeah.
Tim Husty says, Gene to Roland Farms. Hey, I work at the ramen shop. Can I see your greenhouse? Rep at the farm. Yes, Gene. Let us show you.
Play on words.
Is That's very good.
show you.
That's very good.
Oh, boy.
Oh, and Ed Rendazzo sends a heart.
Oh, Ed.
I
Love
want
Ed.
to have Ed on the show one day.
I miss
He's
him.
Oh,
very-
Ed
should
moved
come on the
away.
show
He's
sometime.
very famous now in
He
another,
is very
another part of the
famous.
world. Any haters on there?
No, you
We
know,
do get a
I've
handful
said
of
I've said this before. We've cultivated a pretty good audience on NEPA Scene,
Nice.
where we're not like WNEP, where it's like if you read the comments,
no talk back 16.
you will puke on all the horrible things that you will read.
No, it's yeah.
But our stuff, we try to cultivate a pretty good. And if you're like a nasty troll, we're just gonna get rid of you. We don't want you. You know, we're not trying to bait anybody into that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. That's the problem too. Is a lot of media is very not just clickbait, but baiting that type of stuff because they
Right.
want the traffic and the comments and stuff that generates.
Sure.
So they're going to purposely go out of their way to share a story that they know might not even be relevant to the area, but it's something that's going to get people yelling
Right.
at each other in the comments. So we just try to stray from that. We like to hang out with cool people and talk about cool shit.
That's what I like to do.
That's why we're here.
Sometimes people don't like that. We got a bad
Screw
review
them.
recently because they
He
didn't like
needs
our
to
music.
Stop reading them.
I
What are
know
you talking about?
Well, he does.
We got
He gets so upset.
a bad
I'm gonna agree
review.
with her.
We got a bad review because they didn't like our music, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "There was a bad cover of a Talking Heads song," and I'm like, "That was
What?
from a fucking cloud thing that we were playing that was paid for because we pay all of our fees like good restaurant people."
Yeah.
And I guess there was a cover of a Talking Head song, and they hated it, and they gave us 3 stars.
If that's
And
the
I was
worst
like-
thing they can say about you,
And they
though,
said nothing about the food or the service or the decor or anything. I was like, dude, I'm like, you're fucking with my like family's livelihood because you didn't like a song. You should have said something. I would have said, skip. Holy shit! That's all you got to do? Skip. Next song. Oh, you don't like that one either? Hey, guess what? We pay for it. Next song. We don't have any like non-skips. We could keep skipping. Keep skipping. $20 a month. Keep fucking skipping. And I'm like, but guys, the ramen, the service. Nope.
not enough for people.
Fucking Talking Heads, man. She knows.
Oh, you know, you see them a lot. You can never trust those reviews because 90% of the time it's the person, not the actual place or the restaurant or whatever. I just saw one before, actually, just before I came, of a local bar that I know is great, and the guy was like mad about being thrown out, so he gave it a shitty review. Well,
How'd
you're
you
obviously an asshole
Yeah.
that got thrown out
If
of the
you were
place.
thrown out, what kind
So-
of bar? Was it a nightclub? You don't have to
just,
say what it was.
Just a regular,
Good old-fashioned
good
corner bar,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, if you get thrown out of a corner bar, then you're meanie pants.
Yes.
Pardon my French. You don't belong there.
Right.
You're ruining everybody's time. You're taking away from everybody's chicken wings. So you got to give them a bad review? Why? Because
Right.
you were a jerk.
Yeah.
That's how children act.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, though, I could be a big kid sometimes because these reviews kill me sometimes. But all in all, life is good, man.
Good.
I really can't
The
complain.
good
Right?
outweighs the bad.
It
By
certainly
a long
does.
shot. So
Certainly does. We have an unbelievable base. We have an unbelievable crowd.
unbelievable crew.
An unbelievable staff.
Everybody does a great job.
This is unbelievable beer. I hate to be like that kind of guy. Life is good, man. I don't know why. No, I don't hate to be that kind of guy. Life is good.
We should have more of that.
We're just trying to
Yeah.
work hard, you know? Some days aren't great. Some days aren't amazing. Some days are awesome. We just want to work hard and make people happy and have fun doing it and be able to talk to guys like you and tell you about it. And I love that you guys actually care enough to ask us about it, you know?
That's what we're here for.
That means like the world to us because, hey, what's up? Is that weird that we bring?
No, totally. Our producer Gerard here,
Hey!
just off camera.
What's up, man? He was just here the other day. Yeah, customers are here.
They just came because they knew you were here, and they're like, maybe they
Gerard's
got
the
some
man.
food,
If Gerard comes on, I have to take a bathroom break because we're going to talk wrestling for the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
What?
Can we do a 3-hour wrestling podcast?
Yeah,
come
not tonight,
on, you party
please.
fool. Oh, can we do it another night?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Well, let's
I'm a fan of pro wrestling, just in case you're wondering.
let's wrap up, and then we can get to that off camera. You see, you got the 1 year anniversary coming up.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically it is today, but you're celebrating
Technically.
Monday through Saturday of next
Yeah.
week.
Yes.
So, what do you have planned for that week?
Oof,
We
a lot.
have live entertainment every night.
Every night. So Monday night is
different-
John Smith,
Yep.
who is a local favorite, like I said, from Bent Blue. We have Brad Parks. We have the
On
Boastfuls.
Tuesday. Wait, you missed the Husty Brothers.
No, I didn't get. No, I'm not going in order. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
okay, I was thinking about day by day.
See, she's got me back.
Yeah.
She has my back. Who else?
Well, the Husty Brothers,
Brothers.
then the Boastfuls, then
Bradley Parks.
Brad is Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, Bjorn Jacobson,
Bjorn.
who's off the charts.
Saturday, we're not having.
No, it's Saturday.
It's actually a late night dance party.
Late night dance
to
party.
Cap off the week.
Nice.
This, we're going to tear the place apart. Probably ruined most of that paint that I was talking about.
Right.
Johnny?
It's over.
They're
So,
going chalk and everything else.
Saturday is two amazing girls from Scranton that are just full force girl power that DJ like a motherfucker. And they're real big, they do the bog and everything. So we're going to do Saturbow with Saturday. So we're doing $5 bow bun late night. We're doing cheap ass beer late night. And we're doing a dance party late night. 10 o'clock to 1 a.m. Couple bucks to get in the front door just to help us cover the band. And it's going to be a raucous event. Our upstairs neighbors are not going to be happy.
Unless they come down.
But they best come down. But it's going to be a hoot. But other than that, the whole week we have awesome live music, everything local.
Different beer specials.
We're doing a
every
whole,
day.
yes.
Yeah.
We're doing a whole bunch of great beer specials. All the beers are local. Just dirt cheap. I don't want to say that like we're just giving away the house, but it is. We're just going to have fun.
Well, certain
Just come.
things, yeah.
It's like our gift. You know what I mean? Like, just come and just eat and drink and have a great time and listen to music and hopefully Saturday you come and dance and it's going to be a lot of fun, man. This whole adventure's been a lot of fun and we just want to continue it for next week and hopefully in the future.
Far into the future.
Far into the future.
Speaking of which, anything else coming up down the road that you guys are thinking about or that you want to do or
No
that you have
immediate
planned?
plans yet.
Next week's the most important thing.
Yeah.
After that, we're looking at doing a Penn Avenue block party. We're talking to the city right now about just shutting down the street and
Nice.
throwing a huge Penn Avenue block party. Talk to Johnny Popko about that too. What's that look for? You don't want in?
I can't wait.
He's out. He's out. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean that's it, man. Other than that, we just want to plug through the summer, work hard, and try to do some cool stuff in Scranton, and maybe do some cool stuff in Wilkes-Barre.
Down the road.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
You know, there's a lot of opportunity for ramen down here in
That's
the
true.
old Wilkes-Barre. You know, not for nothing. We do love this city.
Tomorrow you'll see some ramen joint pop up.
Yeah, right.
Better be a peculiar ramen joint.
Jeff here will fucking have a shop tomorrow.
It's all right. I gotta come work for him. God, I need a job. No worries, Jeff. I'm in.
Anything else, John?
Got nothing. This is everything I would hoped it would be and more.
Oh,
This
good.
was a lot of fun. Who's on next week? Do we know?
We're not solid on it yet. We don't know yet.
When's Boot coming back?
When she wants.
She's a busy gal.
She comes and goes.
God
like
bless
the
her,
wind,
man. Huh?
But she's very busy.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so happy for her, man.
She visits. She's like, oh, I'm gonna come on, and I'm like, oh, well, it's the weed episode. She's like, well, I don't really have any dog in that race, but oh, sure.
Okay.
You know, she came
Yeah,
on.
well,
We had a good time.
Thanks for inviting me to the weed episode. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's awesome. I'm so glad that you guys are doing well, and this was a blast. I'm glad that you had us on, because
Finally.
not for nothing. I love hanging out with you guys. Truth be told, if we didn't have any kind of life things to take care of, this could go on for a long time.
Yeah.
For sure.
All I would need was a bathroom break. This
agree.
freaking podcast could.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can pause it, this podcast could go another 2 hours. But you guys having us on means the world to us because we love what you guys do.
Thank
You guys have been so good to us. Johnny's been. I mean, we love you guys. And
Yes,
thanks
indeed.
for this lovely lady for making all of this thing possible. Because
Aw.
people don't realize she's the brains behind the operation. You know.
We all need that. Like, us as
Dude,
guys, we
totally.
need that. You know, that's why we.
You know.
That's why we marry.
Sometimes they say,
Right.
"Oh, the chef," you know, "Oh, you're the chef." I'm like, yeah, but I'm nothing without my lovely lady here that
Aw,
takes care of me.
babe.
So
You're so cute.
it's true. I love you guys, and thank
We
you
love you.
for having me.
Absolutely.
And Miranda, we really appreciate it, man.
Thank
of course.
You guys are always so good to us.
Anytime
I'd love to
we'll-
do this again sometime, or just
Many-
maybe we could get together sometime.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Many more years to come, hopefully,
Thank
for
you.
Peculiar Slurp.
Cheers.
Can you put a little in there so it's not bad luck?
Yeah.
Make sure you have crowlers when you guys hang out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we're gonna have cakes.
That's what Beer Boys is for, so thank you to Beer Boys.
Thank you, Beer Boys. Thank you, Susquehanna
Cheers.
Brewing Company.
Yes.
And NEPA Scene for keeping people like us alive, man. It means the world to us.
Hopefully
You don't
we can do
realize
that
how
many
much
more.
that we appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Well, maybe we can, Loyalty inspired me by, they were streaming the Bob Lewis episode a couple weeks ago. Maybe we can get it into some restaurants and businesses, and maybe they'll show our show. Because Facebook is certainly not doing that by limiting how many people will see it unless you pay. And
Is
I'm
that
sure
right?
you guys as
Yeah.
a business deal with the
Oh,
same
Oh, yeah.
bullshit.
Sponsors and
Yeah,
whatnot.
and all that kind of stuff. But you're always fighting the algorithm, and it's more and more so
It's
as
always
the show gets on and
changing,
it becomes
yeah.
more popular. They're like, "Oh, you're reaching more people. Well, we're gonna make sure you reach them less unless you pay us," and that kind of thing. So, if
Yeah.
you enjoyed the show, you liked what we did, please share. Let people know about the show. Tune in every week and tell people about it every week.
Make sure you click the like button.
If you want to be a sponsor,
Make
by
sure
all
you
means.
comment on
Yes.
it, because all those things go in the algorithm.
Yeah.
Make sure you share it. Definitely sponsor.
Yes.
Yeah, Beer Boys has been a sponsor for almost a year now, or 2 years now.
Yes.
Almost 2 years now, which is our longest
Our longest.
loyal
But
sponsor.
And thank you to the V Spot as well.
Absolutely.
They've been around a long time
Absolutely.
as well, and they've been
Those
they've been
guys are
supporting the
great.
show.
Yep.
All right. Well,
All right,
we
love
will
you
see you
guys.
here next Thursday from 7 to
Thursday.
8 p.m. I guess that's our new night now, Thursdays for a while.
Whatever Gerard says.
Exactly.
He's in charge. Thanks,
Executive
yeah, thanks to
producer.
Cole Creative for having us, here.
Cole's
Yeah.
the shit. We love what they're doing.
Yeah.
Cole is too sweet. That's my out.
Have a good night, everybody.